Top of the morning, lads. It's Suave Beards, and coming back with another Metal Gear Solid 2 stream. Now, if you happen to catch my stream earlier, you will probably know that I'm going to be playing the exact same part of the game over again. I'm going to be playing the Tanker chapter over again, starting with the Raiden chapter, because, well, I switched over to Streamlabs and hadn't tested my capture card in Streamlabs, and as a result, it looked dark as shit. Opened up OBS Studio and it looked perfectly fine. I was also having some internet connection issues and things like that, so I'm just going to completely pretend that stream never happened and just start this one over again. So that's going to be the result. Now, I am playing this on an original fat PS2. My capture card stretches it to a 16:9 ratio, so we got to take what we can get. I played Metal Gear 3 on my fat PS2. I am playing an original copy of Sons of Liberty, and I am using a DualSense controller for this. I got an adapter on Amazon that was actually really nice. Now, for those of you that may have caught my Metal Gear 3 stream, that DualSense adapter actually caused me some problems in Metal Gear 2, or Metal Gear 3, because of the pressure-sensitive buttons of the PS2 and PS3 controllers. So CQC sucked in that game. It was basically non-existent. I couldn't use it. And in Metal Gear 2, the only use for the pressure-sensitive buttons that I can recall was being able to lower your weapon. Now, I'm not too worried about that. I'm not going for dog tags and things like that. That's really the only thing I can think of that it was really all that beneficial. Well, and like automatic weapons and stuff, you could like point them and aim them without shooting them. Again, not really all that worried about it. So, I'm gonna, let's see here. Yeah, we want that, previous, the rest of this can pretty much stay the same. And then, one of the things that I did was I went through this previous story. I went through the New York Mirror, so we're going to do that again as well. So, in the darkness of Shadow Moses, the unofficial truth. Author Nastasha Romanenko, reviewed by George Franklin. Some topics in the recent American past have the immediacy and the power that still engage our collective imagination. Names like the Grassy Knoll or Roswell roll off our tongue with deliberateness reserved by most other nations for holy lands. With this new non-fiction account from Nastasha Romanenko, Shadow Moses, the scene of a nuclear siege 2 years ago, is set to join their ranks. Official history states that the takeover of a nuclear weapons disposal facility on a lonely outpost in the Fox Islands, Alaska, was the work of a radical right-wing group. Their demands for the release of group members incarcerated in federal penitentiaries were never met, and the incident was speedily resolved by the successful deployment of a commando unit. BS, the author asserts. Romanenko says that she served as an advisor to the Nuclear Emergency Search Team and deconstructs what she claims to be a cover-up story by the government with precision. According to the author, Shadow Moses Island was nothing less than the U.S. Army's testing grounds for a top-secret weapon known as Metal Gear Rex, an all-terrain bipedal tank with advanced nuclear capabilities. As for the facility's takeover, Romanenko alleges that it was the U.S. military's own shadowy wet works force, known as Foxhound, that staged an armed insurrection in a bid for Rex's possession. The government responds to this by sending in a lone operative, a former Foxhound member known only by the codename Solid Snake, into Shadow Moses. His infiltration is aided by a remote mission control team consisting of an unidentified Colonel Campbell, a Foxhound medical chief Naomi, and a radar and electronics expert Mei Ling, who is supposedly a teenager, and the author herself. Once on the island, Snake joins forces with Metal Gear's developer-turned-prisoner Otacon to eradicate the weapon of mass destruction. Among the other remarkable characters that make an appearance in Romanenko's expose is another Foxhound commando, a revolver virtuoso named Shalashashka, also known as Revolver Ocelot. One of the most controversial allegations in the book deals with this figure's connection to a disavowed Russian militia led by Colonel Gerlukovich. Romanenko paints a bleak picture of a 1,000-strong, highly disciplined army with nuclear weaponry operating covertly within the American border. Even more irresistible to conspiracy scholars and students of recent history is her thinly veiled suggestion that the whole affair was planned from the beginning by certain forces inside the U.S. government. The U.S. Army and the usual suspect of federal agencies have issued a statement denouncing the book as a complete fabrication. However, with a number of detailed eyewitness accounts that back up the author's assertions cropping up daily on the web, the denials serve more to enhance the book's growing reputation. Shadow Moses is an engrossing read for casual and serious readers alike and promises to involve readers in a meaty debate over the truth of the matter for many years to come. Excerpted from the literary review column, all booked up, the New York Mirror. Now, next week, I will go over the shocking conspiracy behind Shadow Moses. I'm going to do these kind of one at a time, so I'm not covering a bunch of them right at the very beginning. My brother over at CD's Games did something similar with his playthrough of Metal Gear 1 that happened last week. So, with that being said, we are going to start this over again with new game. We're going to do Tank or Plant. Now, this wasn't an option last time because I didn't have any save data. And then we're going to do this on normal, radar type 2, and we are off. So, my goal is to get to the introduction of Raiden. And there was a few things that I would have liked to do better in the last one.
We had classified intelligence that a new type of Metal Gear was scheduled for transport.
You know, that might be a thing here too.
The whole thing stank, but our noses have been out in the cold too long.
It's really unfortunate that I have to redo this whole bit that I just did earlier today, because it was my first time going through it again for the first time in a number of years. But the stream quality, the whole thing stank. The internet connection was not good. The coloring sucked, and so this one should just be better to save. Wasn't very happy with the way that one went this morning, so hence the reason why we're redoing it today. Snake just not giving a shit, taking a walk in the rain, smoking a cig. He's just a badass of badass proportions. Oops. And off he goes. What better way to make your entrance onto a tanker, big giant boat? Snake is the epitome of badass. I really wish that stealth suit still worked. Rest in peace to the stealth suit.
Our boy is right on schedule.
What's absolutely amazing about this game is the fact that this game came out only 3 years after the release of Metal Gear Solid 1. So, after playing through Metal Gear Solid 1 and then going into this game, and like games are in development now for over 3 years. You know what I mean? And so the fact that this game is like miles ahead of the first one in terms of gameplay and graphics is just insane.
This is Snake. Do you read me, Otacon?
Loud and clear, Snake.
Kept you waiting, huh? I'm at the sneak point.
Everything going okay?
Stealth camo's busted. Landing impact.
Big
You
Zad.
must have overused it. Sorry, but you're gonna have to deal with it. You're not in the military anymore.
Right. I didn't plan on relying on this gadget anyway.
I did.
Private sector's not so bad, is it? Privacy guaranteed?
I'm happy as long as no one gives me any more unwanted gifts.
You mean that thing with Naomi?
And I can't say I miss the chattering nanny.
Mei Ling's not so bad. That reminds me, I have to get in touch with her again about that new Natick flashware.
Diverting toys from the SSCEN again? Look, give her a message from me. Someone will find out, sooner or later. She's better off assuming it sooner and quit while she's safe.
Too true. Okay, Snake, let's get to work.
Yeah,
You know
let's
how
get
the
to work.
technical specs of Metal Gear were sold on the black market after Shadow Moses?
All Ocelot's doing.
Exactly. And now every state, group, and .com has its own version of Metal Gear.
Not exactly a classified weapon for today's nuclear powers.
This new one seems to have been designed to wipe the floor with all the other models. The only consistent description is that it's an amphibious, anti-Metal Gear vehicle.
That explains why this one is under Marine Corps jurisdiction.
That would explain it.
The mission objective is to make visual confirmation of the new Metal Gear being transported by that tanker and bring back photographic evidence. But I want you first to go up to the top level of the infrastructure, to the bridge. We need to find out where the tanker is headed.
A little reconnaissance, huh?
There's too much we don't know about this new prototype. Capabilities, deployment method, we don't even know how close it is to completion. If we know where the testing arena is, I can start to draw some reasonable conclusions.
All right, I'll head to the bridge ASAP.
Try to avoid confrontations. Our goal is to collect evidence
But
on
that's
Metal
no
Gear
fun.
development and expose it to the world. It would be
I like
best if you could get
confrontations,
out of there
Otacon.
without alerting anyone.
Don't worry, I know the drill. We're not terrorists.
Very good. Don't you forget that you're part of Philanthropy now, an anti-Metal Gear organization and officially recognized by the UN.
Recognized, but still fringe, Otacon.
All right, let's look at your gear. Your weapon is a tranquilizer gun converted from a Beretta M92F.
M9.
It's a little hard to work with because you have to reload after each shot since the slide
Still nice though,
locks.
because I can make people
But
go
under
night night.
scavenging at the mission site. Good suppressor, too.
The chemical stun will take effect in a few seconds and last for hours. You can take down an elephant with
Now,
that thing. Check out the laser
I'm gonna
sight.
try to get through this
The
entire
aesthetic
segment
ground will vary
without killing
depending on what
anybody.
part of the body is hit. We're talking about a difference of tens of seconds between hitting limbs, chest, or head. As for the equipment, hey, Snake, cigarettes? What's wrong with you?
It's kind of a lucky charm.
You haven't read the Surgeon General's warning, have you?
I love how that's like an iconic part of
Here's the
Snake's
digital
character,
camera.
but they still
Works
give him
almost
shit
the
for
same way
it.
as your old one.
Just one of them little details that I really like.
They
Like,
don't
hey
look
man,
hard.
every now and then you just need
Hey,
a smoke.
Earth to Snake. These are nice, upstanding Marines, not terrorists. Don't get caught. We're in stealth mode here.
Sure, and if it comes to that, a little beauty sleep never hurt anyone.
Absolutely.
By the way, Otacon, are you sure of this intelligence?
Absolutely. Hacked it out of the Pentagon's classified files myself.
No traces?
Oh, please. I'm too good for that.
But this might be a trap. Remember, there's a price on our heads.
You're just being paranoid.
I hope so. Those men, you wouldn't think they were anything but civilians from here.
With all the ships passing on the river and in the harbor, putting uniformed Marines on the deck would be a bad idea. People can get a clear view of the water from the riverside, too.
The water line is too high. According to the navigational plans, this ship should have discharged its cargo upriver.
It's in there, no doubt about it.
The military trains you to watch for threats from the stern on a boat. That's SOP for counter-terror ops, too. Security should be tighter.
You worry too much.
Where's the target?
Satellite surveillance is a major international pastime these days. I'd say the cargo holds, safely below the deck. Do you see the entrance to the holds?
Looks like there are a few entryways into the crew quarters. The chopper. What? Looks like we're not the only ones after Metal Gear tonight.
Is that a chopper I just heard?
Affirmative. Probably another cavalry. What's their game? Hijack?
They're probably targeting the ship's controls.
Otacon, how many men do you need to take over a tanker of this size?
The ship is run by a computer, so I'd say about 18 people.
AKS-74U.
There's Colonel Gerlukovich. I'm trying to both pay attention to the cutscenes
Sure?
and give the viewers a chance to watch them and pay attention to them and not listen to me. So if I'm a little quiet, that's why.
I'm transmitting a photo. Let's get an ID on him ASAP.
I'm on it.
Looks like the tanker's theirs now. K-60 Kasatka.
Kasatka? Kamov chopper, right? Killer whale.
We need to get a fix on who they are.
Judging by their transport, aren't they some kind of military commandos?
Not necessarily. It could be the KA-62, the civil model.
Look, Snake.
Yeah, but why
all we
would
need is
civilians
photographic evidence of Metal Gear. As long as we have those, we
take
can
a
put it online
helicopter
and blow the whole
onto
thing wide
a,
open. So no pyrotechnics, okay?
All right.
tanker?
I'll do
Like
my best.
there's no reason
This
for
isn't like
civilians
Shadow
in a
Moses.
civilian model
Reach me if anything
helicopter
happens.
to take
The
over a
frequency's
tanker in
141.12.
camouflage.
How can I check in and save my progress?
I'll do it. There's a frequency set aside for it. 140.96. Sorry, but no Mei Ling this time. Call me on the codec when you want to save.
Got it.
I'll be waiting just past the Verrazano Bridge. You need to be off that ship by then.
I'll be in touch.
All right, we'll see if we can make that happen. We'll do our best. Now, I just discovered for the first time, just like in Metal Gear Solid 1, that you can run around while you're aiming. It's kind of sad, but I never knew you could do that. Okay, we're going to wait for this guy to get into position again, and then choke him out. Oh, come on.
Enemy sight. Request now.
Okay. That could have went a lot better. Now, I explored a lot more of this tanker the first time I did this. So I'm going to try to do some of that again. And like kind of try to repeat my first stream, because it was a fairly good one. The one thing that, unfortunately, because like my Streamlabs handled the capture card really well, the coloring just sucked. Whereas in OBS, I tend to get a lot of screen tearing, so if you happen to know a solution for that, be sure to let me know, because that would be great. Okay, so I got a ration. Need to wait and see what this guard's gonna do.
Freeze.
He's sleeping. Oh, that's USP ammo. That's the one thing, man. They don't give you a whole lot of M9 ammo in this tanker. I'm going to have to remember to be a lot more careful with my ammo consumption. Then I did make quite a few careless mistakes the first time. So this one might be a little bit better performance-wise. So, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. It was just a terrible stream this morning, and it happens from time to time. Nothing you can do about that. Okay, so I got some chaff grenades. That's neat. Oh, hey, I didn't notice there's a ration right here. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. It works. I'm not going to go too much further than this, but yeah, in Twin Snakes and Metal Gear Solid 2, pretty much if you find a perpendicular vent like that, uh-oh, I might be stuck in here now. That might not have been a smart move. Yeah, I'm stuck in here now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back out of here. That wasn't a smart decision on my part. Okay, well, I was able to get back into the next area. But in both Twin Snakes and in this game, because they operate on the same engine, if you find a vent in the floor like this, and there's a perpendicular wall to it, you can glitch into it and go out of bounds. It's not really useful almost anywhere, but I just happened to see it and wanted to do it, and probably shouldn't have, but I did it anyways. So we're going to continue on now. Okay, we can make this guy here go night-night. And, yeah, I don't have a magazine or anything. I will take that ration. Now, this camera caused me some issues, so I'm going to utilize these chaff grenades that I found. And we're going to take this guy out. Let's see if I can get something out of him. Oh! Well, there goes my last chaff grenade. Nothing? Alright. Well, we're going to continue on then. Continuing on. Hopefully the screen tearing is kept down to a minimum. Yeah, there's... I'm gonna just kind of play around with this during this cutscene and just see if I can minimize the screen tearing that I have going on. I feel like it might be a frame rate thing. I might have my capture card set on a frame rate that it shouldn't be on, so I'm gonna change that setting and see if that helps any. So now we got even more of these guys to deal with. All right, let's figure out where this ship's going.
Snake, did you find out where that ship is headed?
I'm looking at it. 35 degrees longitude, latitude around 58.
More than 500 miles off the coast of the Bermudas, out in the middle of the Atlantic. So
That's
the
pretty
prototype
sus.
is ready for solo testing. It's basically combat worthy. That area is outside the Second Fleet's operational range, too. It must be a standalone Marine Corps project, which means this prototype Metal Gear must be designed for independent deployment, without any naval assistance. Anyway, analysis can wait till later.
Yeah, Otacon, we got more important
you
things to
need
worry
go down
about.
to the holds and locate the actual metal.
Now, I managed to beat Olga the first time around without a continue, so we'll see if I can replicate that. That'd be pretty neat. It does look like the screen tearing is not as bad of an issue right now, so... Because it was pretty rough there for a while, and I think I've managed to figure out what that issue was and keep it from happening, so that's neat.
Control room, communications and engine room are under control. All entry and exit points to the tanker hold secured. Infrared sensors placed and operational.
Good work. Are the explosives in place?
Yes, they are all planted.
Listen, once we have what we came for, the tanker will be scuttled.
And the vehicle's pilot.
He's the only one who underwent the VR training. No one else can do it.
Of course,
Are
how
you sure
convenient.
you can trust him?
Your part in the mission is complete. You are to leave at once.
No, it's not over yet.
I can see the moon, even in this storm, pale as death. I have a bad feeling about this mission. You swore this to me, that you would leave the unit once the mission was complete. Do not worry, this is a country of liberty.
No, this is where I belong, with the unit. I have nowhere else to go. Father, I want to stay and fight.
There is no choice to make here, Olga. Need I remind you that you are carrying my grandchild?
Yeah.
You will be on the helicopter out of here now.
It's not like she can't make her own decisions or anything. Which she's about to do. You know, Olga doesn't get enough credit. She is quite the badass.
Freeze! Hands over your head, now! Toss your gun overboard, slowly. A woman. Show your face.
You men, you're all the same.
Who are you?
We are nomads. Wanderers.
I said don't move.
Americans. So you shoot women too.
I'm a nomad too. What else do you have there? Take the knife and toss it. Not there. Toss it overboard. Hold that position. Now, turn around.
You know what you're doing.
Snake ain't no dummy. He's been around the block before.
It stopped raining.
Good. Make it easier to
Not
shoot
too
you.
shabby, is it? New York, I mean. And that brings our tour to its conclusion.
Scout knife with a surprise. You a Spetsnaz?
I think you deserve a little credit. No one's ever dodged that shot of mine. But no one gets lucky twice, either.
We'll see about that. Snake's been lucky lots of times.
I've been with the unit since I was born.
Congratulations.
I grew up on the battlefield. Conflict and victory were my parents.
Actually, your dad is Sergey, but
My family. Oh! We've shared everything. All the bad. Oh! I have no one. Nothing except the unit. Nothing at all. Whoever you are, you're not stopping us.
I'm gonna try my best. That's for sure. Whoops. Damn. Damn, I'm not doing well. Yeah, we're gonna just get rid of this tarp. Alright, one more shot and she should be down. There we go. Wasn't too bad. I think I only used up one ration. I can handle that. I should do a lot better at this game than I have the previous two because I'm so used to Twin Snakes and the gameplay of Twin Snakes that this one should go fairly smooth. You know, for being a PS2 game, the graphics on this game still hold up pretty well. You know, just like the detail in Snake's face and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, they did a fantastic job with this game and the character models. Again, considering that the original was released only 3 years earlier than this, it's just insane, the progression from 1 to 2.
Otacon, the ship appears to be under their control. The men have Russian gear, but I haven't been able to find out anything else about their origin.
I know who they are.
You do?
We've ID'd the old man,
Who is he?
Sergei Gerlukovich.
Gerlukovich, one of Ocelot's allies.
Yeah, the GRU colonel. He's the one Ocelot was supposed to meet up with after Shadow Moses.
They're after Metal Gear.
Everything's changed. This is not going to be as simple as we thought.
You could say that. I saw a surveillance remote just now. It looked like the Cypher.
A Marine Cypher T?
No, Army.
First the Marines,
Then the Russians? Now the Army? Yeah, shit's
You're
getting
right.
serious,
This
Otacon.
isn't gonna be simple.
Snake, there's something I have to tell you.
Of course, there's
What?
always something.
We didn't dig up this info about the new Metal Gear on our own. Not like usual.
Because of course
How
not.
did you find out then?
There's always a
It
catch.
was a tip. An anonymous tip.
Anonymous? You've never trusted those. Why would you start now?
I have a younger sister, a stepsister. We have different parents.
It's usually what stepsister
I only knew
means,
her for 2
Otacon.
years.
You've never mentioned her before. So?
The sender of the tip was EE.
E.E.?
Her name is Emma, but I always call her EE.
Emma? Emmerich?
Yeah, it just caught my eye, you know? I figured it was a coincidence, but I couldn't get it out of my mind. There's
It was
really
a
no one out
setup.
there who knows about her.
When was the last time you saw her?
Over 10 years ago.
You think it's a trap? To lure us out here?
I don't know. After I got the tip, I did break into the Pentagon system to get confirmation.
Okay.
Watch your back, Snake. Maybe I screwed up.
I've got a light-equipped USP. I can take them on now. There's no ammo, but it takes a 9mm, just like the Marines' M9. I'll find those somewhere around here.
Don't raise
It's a
too
safe
much
assumption.
racket with that thing.
I hear you.
Alright, now we've got a little bit of exploration to do here. I am going to grab her dog tag just because, why not? Now, I also need to find somewhere with a railing that I can drop down repeatedly because I want to explore the wire in the cargo hold. But grip level 1 is just not enough. And if you drop from one ledge to another ledge, you only got to do that 10 times to increase your grip level. So I want to get my grip level up to 3 so I can actually go across the wire and check all that out. So I got to find a ledge that I can drop down somewhere. And I think there's a decent one, a decent spot to do that in the engine room. So that might be our best option for that. Yeah, we're going to take this guy out too. Oops. Will you slow down? No? Okay. There we go. That was a decent shot. Oh yeah, the wet box. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to probably wait until the engine room to do the whole drop thing. Grab that USP ammo. Okay, now both guards are on the other side here, so I'm gonna take this one out, like so. That was a fantastic shot. And then wait for this guard, take him out. And then USP that shit. Which I might have been able to crawl underneath it. I don't remember. It's a little late to check that out now, but... and then at this point, yeah, we can go back... Oh, yeah, I forgot that this area existed. What do we got in here? Oh, the regular box. Alright. Yeah, I forgot this area completely even existed. Oh, damn, he's awake already? Oh, shit. Or is that a different guy? Alright, well, they can both go back to sleep now. I did get some M9 ammo out of that, though, so that's cool. He's gonna go night-night, too. And then... Oh, shit. Damn it! Made the same mistake last time. Can I go out this door? Nope. Shit. Right there.
Return to your positions. Increase
Freeze.
Deploy search team to the portside staircase. Deck B. Increase security precautions.
Alright, I'm not making as big of a mess out of this as I did the first time, so that's a plus. I know I've got extra guards to worry about in here. Okay, he's sleeping.
There's somebody there.
He's sleeping. Hit him in the leg.
Who's the...
Damn it. Come on. Go night-night. Alright. That was a gigantic waste of ammo, but it is what it is. Recoup some of it right there, so it's all good. Now I gotta go... Oh yeah, down into the holds. This door was broken, so... Gotta go down this side. Now, once I get into the engine room, I should be able to do the drop grab thing to get my grip level higher.
Raven.
I can never remember how many times you're supposed to choke one of them guys before they get knocked out. We're just gonna put him in there. Okay, now before I start doing all this drop grab stuff, I'm going to basically take out every guard in this engine room. That might be likely our best shot, is right here to do the drop grabs. There's one. Two. Three. Four. Oops. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10. Alright, that puts me at grip level 2.
Congrats, Snake. Looks like those pull-ups were worth it. Your grip strength is up.
It's alright. So now 10 more times and that puts me up to level 3. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. 6. Spiritual Mutant, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Seven. Eight. Nine. And this should put us to level 3. 10. How you doing today, man? Thanks for stopping by. So yep, level 3 now. So that's cool. Thank you. So we just did 20 drop grabs, and that got our grip level up to level 3. So once I get into the cargo hold there where Metal Gear is, I can take an alternate route. So that's kind of neat. I'm gonna give these guys another dose of sleep minute. Oh, dude, face, full frontal face biffage, right into that pillar. Look at that, dude. I gotta take a picture of that because that's just so damn funny. Just parked. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, I have to admit, Metal Gear 2 is not my favorite of the series. It is a good game, but I'm really not a fan of the Raiden character. If I could have just played as Snake the whole game, it would have been well worth it, and probably definitely my favorite game of the series. But just, I don't know, something about the Raiden character just me. Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, the story of this game is fantastic. It is extremely well done, and I can definitely understand how like shit. Compared to the original game that released only 3 years earlier than this one, it is a massive improvement. So I totally get it. And if, you know, I would imagine that Metal Gear 2 was probably a lot of people's first introduction to the series, because it was, you know, it was the first MGS game released on PS2, and it was probably just more widely accessible to a lot of people. So if this was your first foray into the Metal Gear series, I could definitely understand why it would be your favorite.
Repair of the entranceway to the engine room on the port side is complete. We'll return to position following patrol of the small room on the port side.
You know what? He said he was going to return to his... I'm tranking him anyways. Because I pretty much alerted the entire engine room every time I tried to shoot out these sensors, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to hide from these guys every time, so that's why I tranked every guard in the engine room, to avoid that. I know, Otacon, I need to use the USP.
Snake, wait! Don't move!
I see it. Some kind of device on both sides of the hall. Infrared sensors?
Right, and they're linked to...
Let me guess. Semtex.
Exactly. Plastic explosives.
So this is what they were talking about.
Looks like it. If you trip...
Yeah, I mean, the way that they
sleeping with the
kind of
fishes
treated
along with
Snake
this
as
entire
a veteran,
That sounds about right.
and,
I'm not in the mood to go sleep with the fishes, but there are too many sensors.
you know, for new players
Looks like
that
I'll
had
have
never
to find
played the
another
first one,
way.
No need to worry.
Raiden being a
There's way
complete
through.
rookie made it a lot easier, I think, to explain
Take
a
a
lot
close
of the
look.
finer
Do you
details
see
of
the
this
thing with
game
blinking
while
green
not treating
lights right
Snake
next
like
to
a
the
rookie.
explosives?
So I
That's
can
the
understand
control
that,
unit
and
for the
it was done well.
Destroy that, and the sensors stop functioning.
And
You can't get in close enough to touch it, so you'll have to shoot it out.
one thing that
But
is
the
interesting
M9's knockout rounds won't work.
is that
The USP you picked up should do the
originally
trick. Use that gun.
Hideo Kojima only wanted the tanker area to be available to players that had played Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't know how they planned on like incorporating that, whether it would be by like reading memory card data because the PS2s are backwards compatible but the memory cards are not, or if it was going to be like kind of how Metal Gear 3 had like, oh, I like Metal Gear Solid 1 or I like Metal Gear Solid 2 or I'm new to the franchise. This entire tanker section was intended to be skipped by new players, and only returning players of Metal Gear Solid 1 would be able to play this section. So had you been a completely new player to the Metal Gear series, none of this would be here, and it would just be completely Raiden from the very beginning and you know, complete rookie from the start. Really? An alert already? Just like that? Alright. Yeah, that's my guess, but that never made it into the game. For some reason, that got dropped. But it makes complete sense when you think about how they don't explain, like, rolling and, you know, how did they know that I was in that box? Man. Okay. Man, because I got that alert, I'm not going to see the jam and guard. So that kind of sucks. I like the jam and guard. I'm partial to the first one because it was the first one I ever played, and so it just has that extremely nostalgic feeling to it every time I go back and play it. But I also happen to think that Metal Gear 4 was just simply a masterpiece. Like, I will never forget the first time I got to pilot Metal Gear Rex. That was just a magical experience. And the way that they wrapped up all of the story elements from 1, 2, and 3 was just masterfully done. I liked the weapon system in that game. It was just, Metal Gear 4 is simply a masterpiece. But unfortunately, because it's locked to a PS3, unless you have a PS3, you just simply can't play it, or unless you've got a just monster of a PC and a specific build of the PS3 emulator, the only way you can play it is on a PS3. So I haven't actually played through that one in about 10 years. But that's on the list after this one. I actually started with Metal Gear 3, played the first one, and then this one. So I'm kind of doing the original 4 in story order. But if I had to pick a favorite, honestly, I'd probably have to go with the first one, simply because the story is so iconic. The boss fights, you know, that game was just so damn revolutionary for its time when it came out. It's insane.
All communications to the halls have been severed. No one is aware of our presence.
And I have actually played quite a bit of Twin Snakes, because I speedrun that version. So I've played a lot of that one too.
Yes, sir.
So that was a very long-winded answer without really a definitive answer, but it's hard for me to choose an absolute favorite of the series. And dude, and that's the other thing too. A lot of people complained about that, like that I knew complained about that game, because they were like, oh, I want to play a game, not watch a movie. And it's like, I mean, I can understand for people that just simply want to sit down and play a game, that don't give a shit about the story, that, you know, sitting through a 2-hour-long cutscene might feel like a little bit of a chore, but I thought it was amazing. I loved everything about that game. Oh, I see you over there. Are we done here? Nope. If you're wondering why I'm not just straight up headshotting him with the USP, I'm trying to get through this whole tanker without actually killing anybody. But yeah, the Metal Gear 4 would not simply have had that good of a story and been able to get that detailed with the story without those lengthy cutscenes. So, oh no, you're all good, man. Well, what was your take on Metal Gear 5?
Who goes there? Oh, Shalashaska.
Ocelot's such a badass.
We thought you were with the Colonel. What the?
You don't want to fuck with Ocelot. I mean, he closes this whole door, it makes the whole ship shake. Man, yeah. Metal Gear 5 has the most missed potential of any Metal Gear game in the series. Like, the gameplay and kind of like the sandbox type thing and all that stuff was well done. From a gameplay standpoint, it was fantastic.
Have you made it to the holds?
It's taking longer than I expected. We've already passed the Verrazano Bridge.
All right, we'll use another recovery point.
They may be planning to change course.
What?
The exits to the deck are all sealed.
What are they planning?
If they get Metal Gear, we're going right off the fringe.
Yeah, and like, I can appreciate that game from a gameplay standpoint for quite a bit. Me personally, I kind of like the more linear, like Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3. It seems like it's got the potential to tell a better story with that type of gameplay and, you know, level design. And I've always played the Metal Gear series for story over gameplay. And Metal Gear 5 seemed to be the most lacking with story.
Not the beach, that's for sure.
Now, the reason I did so many drop grabs in the engine room
Let's go over this one more time.
was so I could get my grip level up to level 3. Because I'm gonna explore this wire here. See what happens with that.
Government's plausible denials. We need 4 shots. Metal Gear from the front right, and front left, and a close-up of the Marine Corps marking.
Marking?
There should be a Marine's insignia on the body of Metal Gear. Just let someone try explaining away a clear shot of that.
Oh, I'm sure somebody would find a creative way to do it.
All right.
There's actually one little thing.
Just spit it out. I'm used to things going wrong.
It looks like someone's monitoring our transmission.
Who?
Because of course.
All they're doing is watching. It would creep me out less if they tried to interfere with our communications.
Could it have something to do with that cipher we saw?
Maybe. I've switched the encryption protocol for our burst transmission for now. What I want to do is use a different method for sending these photos, just in case.
Instead of using the codec?
Exactly. There's a workstation in the southeast corner of the block where Metal Gear is housed.
Fair warning though, once I get to the Raiden part of this game, I'm probably gonna tear him to shreds on a regular basis.
I hitched a ride on Link 16 into U.S. military's proprietary network. Managed to get into that workstation and overwrote a part of the system software so I could remote install a little app I wrote.
Why bother with anything that complicated?
No, it's pretty simple, really. Look, all you have to do is stand in front of the machine and push.
I mean, the guy straight up told Colonel Campbell he didn't have VR training on how to open a door. So,
split the files and encrypt them individually. The data packets can then masquerade as...
Okay. So all I have to do is push the action button in front of the computer once I have the pictures, right?
Well, sure, if you put it that way. And one more thing.
And
Commandant's
again,
already begun
I
his speech,
probably...
But you need to get the pictures before he's done talking.
I mean, yeah, his character development is done really well.
I hacked into
And
his
again,
personal files and took a look at the
looking
text
at this
messages.
game from
I'd say you have 7 more
like the
minutes.
perspective
Longer
of a
if he throws
brand
in
new
a joke or
player
two.
who had
A
never
7-minute
played
time
any of the Metal Gear games,
Remember, Snake, just the photos, okay?
I actually played this whole section of the game earlier on today, but the stream went like
But that
crap.
doesn't mean we can just let Metal
My
Gear
internet
be
connection
hijacked.
sucked.
Okay, but first
My
the
capture
photos.
card
All
looked
right,
like shit.
We'll deal with the rest when we
So
get there.
I'm completely
low.
redoing it right now. So like
At the moment, every
going into Metal Gear 2 as a complete rookie and like never playing any of them, I can understand how treating Raiden like such a rookie and having to explain everything down to the minute detail would be extremely helpful for a new player.
the world is about to see a swarm of these
And it's kind of difficult for me to keep that in mind sometimes, so I'm just like, dude, Raiden, you don't know how to open a... You didn't take VR training how to open a door?
pirated weapons forces. The only thing that can stand
Open
up
it.
to a Metal Gear is, of course, another Metal Gear. With Ray, the hundreds, if not thousands, of Metal Gears that exist all over the world are no longer a threat. The blind rush to nuclear proliferation...
Okay, so
will
we
be
made it over
contained,
here.
And it will be the Marine Corps and our Ray that will accomplish this. Ours is not the only military project devoted to Metal Gear development, but it cannot be more different in nature from the Navy's. Theirs is a program that will add fuel to the uncontrolled fire of nuclear proliferation. It is a fact that players in favor of such a policy are attempting
so I gotta
to
go
derail
over
our
here.
own Ray project.
And drop down.
I promise you that they will not succeed. Some say that the strategic importance of aircraft carriers
Wait a
will be
minute.
reduced by the completion of Ray. The opposition from the Navy is an
So you mean to
undeniable
tell me
fact.
that I could have just went up
There's
this
a lot of
ladder
pressure
here?
from Navy brass, especially those with submarine and air background.
Oh, really?
Kidding around. Snake?
I didn't think I was gonna die dropping down like that. Well, that just threw a continue on me.
At the moment,
That's unfortunate.
every industrialized nation on the globe knows the specifications for Metal Gear. Worse yet, so do
There's
number
gotta
of
be a
world
way to get
states.
to that door over there, yeah?
They are all working on deploying their own Metal Gear force to compete with the U.S.'s nuclear strike capability. The world is about to see a swarm of these Metal Gear derivatives.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Raiden is one of those characters you either love him or you hate him. And, well, unfortunately for some, I'm in the camp where I just can't stand him.
With Ray, the hundreds, if not thousands, of Metal Gears that exist all over the world are no longer a threat. The blind rush to nuclear proliferation will be contained, and it will be the Marine Corps and our Ray that will accomplish this.
Okay, so I made it to here.
Ours is not the only military
Is
project,
there must be another wire.
but it cannot be more different in nature from the Navy's. Theirs is a program
Unless-
that will add fuel to the uncontrolled fire of nuclear proliferation. It is a fact that players in favor of such a policy are attempting to derail our own Ray project. But I promise you that they will not succeed. Some say that the strategic importance of aircraft carriers will be reduced by the completion of Ray. The opposition from the Navy is an undeniable fact. There is a lot of pressure from Navy brass, especially those with submarine and air background.
Wasn't a huge fan of that one either. Mainly because I thought there was no point in doing another game that followed the fourth one.
The enemy is sometimes closer to home than you think, gentlemen.
Shit.
Always bear that in mind. This weapon will render all other Metal Gears obsolete. Nations building up their own Metal Gear force will think twice about their nuclear strategy in the light of the
Like, I really dig the original idea of it. Okay, so there's another
The shift in the balance of
wire
power will
here
be
that
a new
theoretically
world
I could
order.
drop
We,
down.
the Marine Corps,
from
will
up
play
there
a
with to
central
here,
role in
but-
its military effort.
Oh, shit. So there's no point in this first wire, unfortunately, I don't think.
Snake, respond! Snake! Snake!
I mean, from a gameplay standpoint, I thought, you know, like a Metal Gear game, a hack and slash Metal Gear game with, you know, either Raiden or Gray Fox, you know, would have been great. Just to kind of expand on the series with a different style. So I don't hate what they did with it, but I just feel like the story was significantly lacking compared to what it could have been had they done it before Metal Gear 4 rather than afterwards. I just kind of had a hard time giving a shit about the story. I actually do have a copy of that one. I am going to play after I finish 4. So I played it once.
The blind rush to nuclear proliferation will be contained, and it will be the Marine Corps and our Ray that will accomplish this. Ours is not the only military project devoted to Metal Gear development, but it cannot be more different in nature from the Navy.
Alright, let's go into this room and see if... I'm going to be kind of mad if I got my grip level up to 3 and there's no use for it.
Players in favor of such a policy are attempting to derail our own Ray project, but I promise you that they will not succeed. Some say that the strategic importance of aircraft carriers will be reduced by the completion of Ray. The opposition from the Navy is an undeniable fact. There is a lot of pressure from Navy brass, especially those with submarine and air background. Not to mention interference from a major player. But this project is vital to the Marine Corps. The enemy is sometimes closer to home than you think, gentlemen. Always bear that in mind.
Okay, there's no ladder over here either. So, how am I supposed to get up?
All other Metal Gears obsolete.
Unless those are literally just there for decoration, but I swear at one point
in the light of the military dominance spelled out by Ray,
I went up there. I'm gonna have to explore this at a later date, I think.
The shift in the balance of power will mean a new world order, and we, the Marine Corps, will play a central role in its military affairs.
Mainly Metal Gear. I actually was playing a little bit of Mirror's Edge earlier. I got really big into these two platformer games called Unravel and Unravel 2 that were really good. I actually speedrun Unravel. Oh, shit.
Intruder to the right.
But the Metal Gear series is my favorite series of all time. I played the first one probably for the first time in like 98 or 99. Probably 99 was the first time I played it.
We cannot and will not give up Ray. Stay on your guard at all times.
Which level are you having an issue with? Let me guess. Is it
I have a daughter.
How much is enough? Is it that one with the giant crushing zapping death machine?
Or her children experience the horror of nuclear war. As a father, I want to leave a better world.
That level is just stupid.
Moses incident during the Sears administration. The current state of nuclear proliferation is a direct result of that event.
Yeah, that one's how much is enough. Yeah, between that and then the electrical wires that you have to like time your jumps on perfectly is just stupid. I hate that one and the one before it, down in a hole. Absolutely hate those two levels.
Projected to completion in 2005. However, the NMD trial conducted in the year 2000.
In regards to speedrunning that game, I always lose time on those two levels. I hate it.
Trials is now considered a chance happening. There was no technological solution in sight, and the program was already attracting strong criticism from Russia and China for its potential violation of the anti-ballistic missile agreement. The fact that any development in missile defense would trigger accelerated weapons development has been pointed out from the very beginning. President Sears forced the NMD proposal through and succeeded in deploying the program. Some say that it was a military interest, with plans for the $100 billion program budget that actually arranged the legislative approval. This weapon will render all other Metal Gears.
Yeah, that I hate that level so much. The one thing I can recommend, I guess, is it specifically the one with the electric traps and the moving belt? Is it specifically that spot that you have trouble with? Look at this ancient-looking computer screen. Let's see. Well, once the belt gets into the right spot, you can kind of there's a lasso point directly above you, and you can swing off of that one to a second one, and then kind of just hang on to that one all the way to the checkpoint, and then you can hang on. Once you get the checkpoint, wait for the lasso point to get above you again, hang on that one, and then take that up to the next platform.
Okay.
It's easier said than done, but that seems to be the most consistent way to get through it without dying.
This explains a lot. Not that there's anything wrong with keeping it to yourself. I mean, you know, it's your life and everything. But you're going to have to take those Metal Gear photos now. And the next one is...
Full frontal face biffage.
It's almost right, but not quite. We can't use this.
It's almost right? That is full frontal face biffage, my man.
What's next? Okay, that's good. The shot from the right is in the bag. Okay, what am I seeing now? Okay, this works. It's a great front view.
Have you ever thought about speedrunning Unravel?
What's
by
next?
chance?
This is great. The Marines lettering shows up really well. The last one is... It needs to be a little more clear. What we need is top-notch quality here.
It's from the front left? Dude, that one was in there. I had the front left.
The Air Force will think twice about their nuclear strategy in the light of the
Alright, I guess I'll take it again.
by Ray.
Front left, Otacon. There it is.
I seem to be repeating myself. Chalk it up to old age.
The first Unravel is actually not a terrible speed run. The biggest thing about it is unless you're playing it on PC, in terms of speed running it, you're kind of at a significant disadvantage because you can do it on console if you hold the analog stick at kind of like a 45-degree angle.
The first image is... You're a pretty good photographer.
But like
holding, definitely use this left
like if you're
shot.
running to the right, hold right and then up slightly, and
now
it'll actually make Yarny run a little bit faster.
The speech is about to wind
Whereas
up.
on PC, you can use the
and
right
out of there now.
Arrow key and the up arrow key, and it's a lot more consistent. And I just mapped the up arrow key to the R1 button, and getting the extra speed that comes with that makes some jumps easier to do, makes some jumps possible. It just kind of some crazy shit. I love this cutscene. I've got 2 of them on my YouTube channel, and I was actually was actually thinking about maybe trying to get one in
Excellent
tomorrow.
speech, my friend.
Either Unravel or Twin Snakes. I was probably thinking Twin
Gift
Snakes
of the
tomorrow.
silver tongue. They say it's the mark of a good officer. And of a liar.
It's a little bit of a lengthy
Americans
speed
are
run.
too in love with the
It's about
sound of their
my
own
best time
voice
is an hour
to
and
speak
25
the
minutes.
truth.
Identify yourself.
Oh, thanks, man. Much appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
I am Shalashaska, also called Revolver
Ocelot.
What do you want?
I'll tell you what, a Twin Snake
This
speedrun
machine
is
will be
fun to
quite
watch.
Useful.
What are you planning to do? Steal this thing?
Steal? No, I'm taking it back.
Ocelot's such a badass. Just walk into a ship full of Marines, just like, bro, this is mine now. I could actually just put my controller down for a minute.
Gerlukovich. Nobody move. Understood?
Once I actually finish this whole run through of the original Metal Gear games, this is actually a Sons of Liberty copy.
On its key structural points to blow it out of the water at the touch of this button.
I'm gonna play the fourth one after this, and then Rising after this, and then I'm gonna go back through them again and play the HD remaster of 3, the original 2D games, do a casual playthrough of Twin Snakes, the HD remaster of this game, and then the fourth one again. So I'll play like all the originals and then like all the HD remasters.
Get a move on.
Well, all the originals that I have anyway. Yeah, I'm glad you did too. Much appreciated. I'll tell you what, the third one was so hard compared to what I remember, because the last few times I played it was the HD version with the free move camera and everything. The stationary camera
What do you intend to do
was
with Ray?
so hard,
Sell it on
and
the streets?
I mean,
was raised in Snezinsk.
I'm actually playing it on an original fat PS2 through a capture card. You know,
What are you
and
talking about?
the PS2 wasn't made to run on an HD TV, especially through a capture card to boot. So,
Is there a
but
point to this
the
sad
original
story?
Snake Eater release of Metal Gear 3,
Friends, dignity, all sold to the
like,
highest
was
bidder,
so
the United
dull
States of
looking. It
America.
made it so hard to
Technology
play.
that gave birth to these weapons is Russian, developed by us.
What do you intend to do?
Russia will rise again. And Ray is the key.
My Metal Gear 3 and Metal Gear 1 playthroughs were not
But I have no intention of selling Metal Gear.
not quite
As I said,
up to par from what I expected. I had a lot more continuous deaths and alerts than I wanted. But, you know, that's the way it goes.
yes.
To be fair,
To the
I'm also doing this entire run through on normal difficulty,
Low.
and I'm not ashamed to admit
Ocelot, you
that I've
have
played
to
these,
follow
that I've
up.
always played these on very easy, because I only played them for the story. I didn't play them because I wanted them to be hard.
Are you still in league with Solidus?
No hard feelings, Colonel. Mother Russia can rot.
If the game ain't got a good story, I can't get into it. Like,
Ocelot, when did you turn?
so many people were
Notice, comrade.
raving about Elden Ring, and I couldn't get into it. Like, if it's just hard, and that's the only thing you get out of it is the satisfaction of beating a hard game, then I can't get into it.
Metal Gear only has room for one. Gerlukovich, you and your daughter will die here.
Damn you!
I mean, like, they're fun to get, and I can understand the, you know, the fun and satisfaction that people get out of, like, 100%ing a game. I've only 100%ed one game in my life, and it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the base game. I haven't done the DLCs at all yet. I 100%ed that game before the DLCs even came out. Scott Dolph's little death sound there always makes me laugh, and I don't know why.
Looks like you were long overdue for retirement.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand, because, like, you know, theoretically, the achievements are for, like, everything in the game. So if you 100% a game, I can definitely understand the satisfaction that would come along with, I have done everything possible in this game. And really kind of get your money's worth out of it. So I dig that. I just mainly don't have the time to really do that. And, well, to be fair, especially when it comes to, like, RPGs and stuff, like with one of the last games I was going to attempt 100%ing was Days Gone.
Show's over. If you wish to live,
and then I beat the main story, and I was just kind of like, okay, I want to move on to something else now.
This ship is still in the lower New York harbor. You may yet make it to shore if you swim for your life.
You know, the one thing that I've always kind of wondered about this section of the game, though, Valhalla's good, but it took me about 130 hours to 100% the base game, so it's long-winded. But the one thing I've always kind of wondered about this section of the game is how did the Marines plan on actually getting this thing out of the tanker to start with? Because I don't see any, like, big, gigantic doors or anything to get this thing out of there. I really wish they just would have kept Liquid alive in this game.
It's been a while, brother.
Liquid's one of my favorite characters in Metal Gear 1.
You know who I am.
Liquid?
Not so young anymore, eh, Snake?
Well, Otacon said they were planning on,
I know what it's like, brother.
like, their coordinates was like 500 miles into the Atlantic Ocean, so they were going to be in the middle of nowhere.
For the Fox Dive program.
Get out of my mind, Liquid!
Because, like, I mean, obviously Otacon was probably, or Otacon, Ocelot was going to blow up the ship anyways, so I guess he didn't really need to have any finesse getting it out.
Few more years and you'll be another dead clone of the old man. Our raw materials are vintage, brother. Big Boss was in his late 50s when they created his copies. But I live on through this arm.
Liquid's on.
that scream right there always gets me every time I hear it. I can only imagine the amount of fun that the voice actors in these games had when they were recording their lines and sound effects and stuff, because I bet it was a great time. Yeah, the Metal Gear Rex Ray fight was just so goddamn good. I can't wait to get back to that one.
You're going down, Snake, with this tanker!
I kind of can't wait to go back and play the HD versions of 2 and 3 again as well. Like, I know graphics don't make the game, but when it looks great, it makes it so much better. And yeah, I've seen some grumblings about a Metal Gear 3 remake being announced coming up, and at this point, I don't put any stock in any of them because there's been so many of them. I mean, this one does sound like it might have a little bit of truth in it because, you know, like, I think Konami has... pretty much, yeah. But I do think Konami has got, like, a new deal or something in place with Sony for, you know, like, the Silent Hill franchise and, you know, stuff like that. Like, it's been rumored for a while that Konami is going to be making a return to, you know, AAA games. I can understand why they would start with, and from what I keep hearing is a Metal Gear 3 remake, and I can understand why they'd start with that one because it's the first in the series in terms of story order. So it kind of makes sense to start from the beginning. But at the same time, the HD version of that game still looks pretty damn good. I mean, it just, like, I would just be happy if they did, I guess, like, a 4K remaster or something like that, like an HD release, or, like, kind of give it the Tony Hawk Pro Skater treatment almost. Like, give me the same exact game, just with, like, retextures.
Snake!
Because, like,
Snake!
in the first, like, did you ever play Twin Snakes? The GameCube remake of the first one? I would just like Metal Gear Solid 4 to be more accessible. Like, it's the only reason I've held on to my PS3 for so many years was to play that one game. I mean, there for a minute you could play the HD collection and the fourth one on PlayStation Now until they all got taken down for, like, the rights to the historical footage in them or whatever. How did you feel about Twin Snakes?
No problems. Proceeding as planned, sir.
Yeah, the original just has that special feeling. I mean, I think part of it now is the nostalgia feeling of playing the original. But, like, you know, the levels weren't designed for the MGS2 gameplay engine.
Yes.
The voice acting was a lot better in the original. I kind of felt like some of it was phoned in Twin Snakes. But at the same time,
I look forward to tomorrow morning's news flash.
I mean,
I would say the Marine Corps' plans are on indefinite hold.
you got to take this with a grain of salt, because I speedrun Twin Snakes. But I do kind of like the gameplay a little bit better. It's a much smoother game to play than the original. The original one is fairly clunky and is definitely showing its age, whereas Twin Snakes still can kind of hold its own against Metal Gear 2 and 3 from a gameplay standpoint. Kind of puts it on par with 2 and 3, really. So if you look at Twin Snakes 2 and 3, they all have a similar like gameplay, similar play style to them. So it's almost like you've got a really fantastic trilogy of 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to overwrite this save because it was the one I did this morning. Yeah, there's actually a lot of, like, speedrun glitches that were found in Metal Gear 2 that actually directly translate over into Twin Snakes, and that's another one. I love the first-person view that was added into it. I know it makes the Ocelot boss fight a joke, but, I mean, to be fair, you don't have to use it. You can still do that boss fight the classic way if you want.
Of course.
Terrorists blow a hole in an oil tanker full of crude barely 20 miles off the shore of Manhattan. Your classic nightmare. It didn't take long for the government to put...
I remember the first time I saw this cutscene,
and then that massive offshore cleanup
and they're calling him Snake.
The big shell.
And I'm like, what happened to him? Like, that is not Snake.
Quite over yet.
It takes time. But in the meantime, the shell's become a landmark, a symbol of environmental protection.
Like, this is very clearly not Snake. Why are they calling this guy Snake?
Approximately 6 hours ago, the big shell was seized by an armed group.
Do we have an ID?
Former members of the Navy SEAL Special Anti-Terrorist Training Squad Dead Cell. Russian private army members may also be involved. It's a highly trained group, and they have the big shell under complete control.
There were definitely a lot of good things about Twin Snakes that get overlooked by the ridiculous cutscenes, which I was in that camp too. I thought the cutscenes sucked. I absolutely hated them the first time I saw them, and then I saw Eva backflip a motorcycle off of Ocelot's face, and then like all of the Cobra unit guys exploding when they die. And, like, this entire series is just littered with ridiculous shit. I mean, for fuck's sake, Mantis levitates. So, and there's a cyborg ninja. You know, like, the entire series is ridiculous from beginning to end. So, I mean, yeah, Snake jumping off of a rocket is a bit nuts, but is it really that far-fetched for this series? Come on.
There was a government-sponsored tour going on at the big shell that day.
Hostages, huh?
A VIP from one of the major conservation groups, and one from our own government. The most important person, in a sense.
The most important person?
James Johnson.
The president?
Unless the demands are met, the terrorists intend to blow the big shell out of the water.
And the crude will ignite, turning the Manhattan Harbor into an inferno.
That's not the worst-case scenario.
Oh, that's not the worst-case scenario?
Yikes. To decontaminate the seawater, go up with the oil. Toxins containing catastrophic levels of dioxins will be released. In other words, the bay's ecosystem will be wiped out, and the sea will turn into a toxic soup for centuries.
Toxic soup.
The worst
Yummy.
environmental disaster in history.
But yeah, like, I remember reading specifically that, like, the guy that was hired to animate those cutscenes, like, basically recreated them almost perfectly. And Hideo Kojima told him straight up, like, dude, that's not why I hired you. I hired you because I like the style, your animation style, so I want that in my game. And then when he kind of started getting called out for the ridiculous cutscenes, he was basically just like, yeah, the reason these weren't in the original was because of hardware limitations. Had we developed Metal Gear on the PS2 from the very beginning, it would have looked like this. So, like, Twin Snakes is kind of more of what Hideo Kojima wanted to do initially anyways.
No. Foxhound remains a covert body. Don't alert them to your presence. That is an order.
This is Snake.
You are not Snake.
Inside strut A of Shell 1.
How are things?
We're in luck. Looks like there are no sentries posted here.
What's the visibility?
The lights on the plant struts are functioning. I won't have to use the IR goggles.
Any problems?
There was a brand new hole cut through the oil fence. There's someone else besides me that wanted to get in badly.
That's not possible.
What about SEAL Team 10?
They landed on the roof of the big shell as planned. And by the way, Snake, we're changing your code name for all following communication.
What's wrong with Snake?
Everything when it comes to you.
You are now designated Raiden. All right, Raiden. You've already covered infiltration and...
Well, the voice actors were the same. It's just the performances were re-recorded.
I feel like some kind of legendary mercenary.
And the soundtrack in general was better. There was a lot of the soundtrack got changed, like so the background music and things like that. A lot of that got changed too.
The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the select button. When we need to reach you, contact you, the codec will be...
Well, even the
noise,
script was pretty much exactly the same too.
The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
All right. I'll contact you if anything changes.
First, Make your way
It just seems like a lot of the voice actors didn't have the same like enthusiasm or oomph in their performance. Like they just weren't as into it the second time around.
Sounds good.
Your new sneaking suit uses electrofiber technology, a byproduct of fiber optics research. The texture isn't far removed from
I think a
rubber,
lot
but
of
the
people
material
just have
protects
bad,
against a wide range of
like
toxic
Twin Snakes just left a
substances.
bad
The
taste
suit
in people's
itself has
mouths
a wide array of built-in
because when it
sensors.
came out,
It is referred to
because
as
we were
smart skin
expecting just
military
like
R&D.
basically a
Data
reskinned
about damage
Metal
to
Gear
different
1,
regions of the body,
and that's
including
not
blood
necessarily
loss,
what
is
we got.
exchanged between the suit and the intravenous nanomachines to create a feedback system.
There's a lot of
And
pressure on my torso.
that game has aged better than most people remember it. Like, I played it when it came out, and then didn't touch it for like almost 15 years, or 10 years, and then just recently went back to it earlier this year, and I'm like, this game isn't that bad. But yeah, the original voice the original voice recording is just so good, and there's like so much reverb into it.
Locate the hatch first.
Yeah, it just has a more retro
Moving
feeling,
on to
and
main mission objectives.
it just seems more tense. And the reason they didn't reuse the original voice recordings was because apparently they did the voice recordings, the original voice recordings, in like a makeshift studio in an apartment building. So once they got to, you know, being able to with the GameCube and like the PS2 and just the newer generation of consoles, like with better audio quality, you could hear a lot more of the faults in the original. Like I think it was actually David Hayter said that you could like hear cars driving by the, you know, like you could hear the sound of cars through the windows and stuff in the voice recordings, and they were able to cover that up because of the lower audio quality of the original game. And he actually gave up half of his salary to get the original voice cast back for that game. They did use a different guy for Gray Fox, because in the original, the guy that voiced the DARPA chief and Gray Fox was the same guy. So they did go a different route with Gray Fox, but beyond that, it's entirely the same cast. Thanks to the man, David Hayter. Colonel, I don't know how to open a door. I didn't have VR training for that.
Right, that door is watertight.
Yeah, I know how to open it. We covered it in VR.
Oh, he did cover. Oh, so he did take VR training for opening a door. The first time I heard that this morning, I must have misheard it. Oh, gotta call Colonel again because there's a guard here and I don't know what to do. I'm a little harsh. No, the only Metal Gear game that I currently speedrun is Twin Snakes, and I'm kind of hesitant on running any of the other ones because I don't feel like I'm ever going to be able to sit down and play Twin Snakes casually the same way ever again. Because there's,
what's their stake in this?
like,
they must have made a deal, an arrangement with the terrorists.
Like Vulcan Raven, for instance, when you fight him the second time, from the time you walk into the door to the time you beat him is like less than 25 seconds because he's just so damn easy to beat on every difficulty. It's kind of comical. And so, like, now that I know the fastest, easiest way to beat like every boss in the game, I don't know, I feel like it loses an element that you get with just like casually playing the game. And I don't know if I'd ever be able to ignore like the techniques and the knowledge that I know about the game to enjoy it for what it is anymore.
Colonel, there's definitely another intruder in here besides me.
That's not a possibility.
Yeah, it is. We just saw him, Colonel.
Looks like a solo job.
One man.
We may not know who he is, but he managed to take care of every sentry in the area. They're all out cold. Whoever he is, he's got some skills.
We need to get an ID. But for now, you can take advantage of the situation and get to work. There's a terminal in front of the elevator, a node.
Did you say nerd?
No.
Not nerd. Node.
Oh.
Use the node to gain access to the Big Shell's facilities network.
Then what?
Pull up the map of the structure. That'll let you activate the Soliton radar.
The Soliton radar? True. That radar came in useful during VR training.
A radar system uses biological magnetic fields as input. These estimated enemy positions are projected onto a map according to reference points collected via
Yeah,
GPS
nerd and node
signals
sound
and
nothing
field
alike.
Personnel reports. We need to get to the map through the Big Shell's node to put this data process.
Yeah, I like to enjoy the Metal Gear
use.
games for
The
what they
node
are
unit is
and
about
what they were
3
intended to
feet
be.
high. Should be
And
colored
I feel like
blue.
I've ruined
Each
that with
area has at
speedrunning
least
Twin
one.
Snakes.
How do I gain access?
Because, I mean, like, a normal playthrough of Twin
Just
Snakes
push
with
the
all the
action
cutscenes and
button in
everything
front of the node.
will take you, I guess, between
The
6 and 8
nanomachines
hours,
in your
depending
body
on
will
how
take care of the
quick you
security
run through all the
clearance
rooms and
and
stuff.
allow you access to the node.
And a speed run,
Complete the
my best
procedure
speed run
before
time
those
is
sentries
actually
gain
on normal
consciousness.
difficulty at 53
If they
minutes
spot
40
you,
seconds.
You won't
So,
be able to gain access for a while.
yeah.
Stay on guard.
Got it.
Yeah, I've thought about doing, like, what's funny is actually, like, a lot of times I'll start a Metal Gear game, and I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to sneak, I'm not going to kill anybody, I'm going to try to get, you know, not get any alerts, and then I get spotted one time, and then I turn into Rambo. And just take out everybody, so. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely ways, but that's the thing, though, like, if I don't learn the speedrun techniques and the speedrun strategies and all that stuff, there's so many different ways to, like, replay the game. Whereas with a speedrun, you kind of get locked into doing the game the same way every single time you play it. So at that point, the only satisfaction you get out of it is just doing it faster than you did last time. I almost just spelled my own name wrong. It's been a day. We're just going to use today's date. It's no offense, but y'all don't need to know my birthday. Alright, there's that. I like how you can go back through and change these options. That's always nice. We want blood on. We want to see people, like, you know, death. I don't know if blood's been off this entire time. If that's the case, it's kind of sad.
Remember your VR training sessions. The tool is exactly the same one. It maps the terrain as well as the position of enemy personnel. The bright dot in the middle is you, Raiden.
He's definitely
The
got
red
stealth
dots
in
are
that
your
little video.
enemies, and the blue cone shape
Where's my
represents
stealth?
their field of vision. Your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it. It gets jammed easily, I'm afraid. It's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful. The Big Shell's layout map should now be available after touching the start button.
How do I save the mission data?
I've set aside a proprietary frequency for saves, and an analyst to work on the data too.
Jack, is everything all right?
What are you doing here?
Jack, can you hear me?
Rose, you're not supposed to be involved. What's going on?
Jack,
Well, he already sounds like he's whining.
Colonel, what the hell is going on?
This isn't going my way.
Meet the mission analyst.
This isn't the way this
She'll
was
be
supposed to
overseeing
happen.
data saving and
It's like he's
support.
already starting to panic.
The Foxhound analyst that was supposed to take part in this mission was in an accident. Rosemary was brought in as a replacement.
An accident?
Like, I didn't have my girlfriend in VR missions.
Better than anybody else.
Rose may be in the service, but
I don't know what to
an
do. I didn't have my
intelligence analyst is
girlfriend in a
no field
VR
officer.
mission.
Not to worry. She has our technical staff at her disposal.
She's never been a part of a field mission. This is insane.
I have my own reasons for selecting her for this mission, soldier.
Colonel, I fail to see...
I know your VR training performance in and out, but sometimes that's not enough. You're familiar with the Shadow Moses incident?
You know I covered it in VR.
If there's a crucial tactical detail that case taught us, it was the power of the operative's will to survive.
Sorry. I kind of get some enjoyment over
We've learned that it doesn't work that way.
Taking Raiden to task.
And on the field, you need all the help you can get.
Jack, you're stuck with me whether you like it or not.
Rose.
You need someone to watch your back. But I have conditions that need to be met, Colonel.
What is it?
I'll perform my duties and save that mission data, but I'm aware that technically I'm not part of the mission control team. After all, I'm just a normal girl who's worried about Jack. But that means, Colonel, that I am not required to follow your orders outside of my immediate duties.
Good question.
Jack is not simply a field personnel for me to track. His safety comes first to me, not the mission. And because of that, I will be monitoring and keeping a record of every communication you have with him, Colonel.
Given the circumstances, you're free to do what you see fit.
Hey, I prefer this to being kept in the dark waiting.
I'd like to make a request, if I may.
Of course.
His handle is Raiden. For the duration of the mission, could you call him that?
Yes, sir. All right, Raiden.
Both.
Let me know when you're ready to turn in a
The
signal.
Metal Gear Rex
The
versus Metal Gear
proprietary
Ray
save
fight was one of the
frequency
most
is
magical moments of Metal Gear,
140.96.
along with the fist fight between Solid Snake
I just
and
switched frequencies.
Ocelot at the end of
Jack?
4 was just epic.
Do you know what day it is?
April 30th. Is there something special about it?
Isn't there?
I would almost have to say Ocelot, because in the third one, I just love how he's such a cocky douche that gets put in his place all the time.
Let you go now, Jack. Take care.
And then, yeah, by the fourth one, there's just some epic moments to be had with fighting Ocelot. And, I mean, he is basically, I guess, depending on your perspective, the main bad guy of the entire series. So,
Raiden.
There's a lot of good
Enemy
moments with
sentry
that
is
one.
Regaining consciousness.
Be careful, Jack.
Find somewhere to hide until the elevator arrives. You must stay out of sight.
And then, I guess from a character standpoint, Liquid is just fantastic.
Enemy fire! Secure the perimeter! Stay on the
Okay, there's the elevator. I'm going to try to get around these guards without taking them out or, you know, making a fuss, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Oh, I didn't mean to kill him. Sorry, guy. He really is. He's got a couple lines in the original Metal Gear that are just so damn good. The way he delivers them are just fantastic. The voice actor for that character really brings a lot to that character.
The terrorists call themselves Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty?
The name of their leader is Solid Snake.
The hero of Shadow Moses? So that's why you changed my code name.
No, he changed your code name because you being called Snake is a disgrace.
He died 2 years ago on that tanker after he blew it sky high.
Could he have survived?
Not a chance.
Colonel, I'm on the roof. There are no sentries, but it would only take one to spot me in this
Oh, that's
light.
right.
You never had daylight VR training.
That's what it
after
is.
all. Stay extra sharp
He never
until you can
had
find
daylight
the road to
VR
log in
training.
from.
What about the commandos?
SEAL Team 10 has landed on struts B and C.
And the president?
Seems he was spotted on strut B.
Strut B?
The big shell is comprised of shells 1 and 2. Each unit consists of a central core and 6 struts surrounding it.
So the whole thing is shaped like 2 hexagons connected end on end.
You know, basic geometry.
Exactly.
Good job.
And you're on the roof of strut A, shell 1 at the moment.
But
First, get to a node.
if you're looking for like a specific boss fight, that's a tough one. Oh boy. Colonel, I never had VR training on how to avoid bird shit. Colonel, how do I stop slipping on bird shit? But, damn it.
Raiden, SEAL Team 10 is in.
Do we really have no line of communication with the SEALs?
They don't know a thing about us. You know we work in the dark, and this mission is no exception. Only a few people know about your presence here. There's no need for concern. This operation is under Pentagon's direct command, and the NSDD came from the Vice President and the Secretary of Defense. Your mission may be top secret, but it's gone through the usual channels.
Alright, I'm actually going to be ending this here for the day. I'm actually going to call Rose real quick and save it. This is where I got earlier this morning. I try to keep these in 2-hour blocks. And I feel like now that we've just gotten into Raiden's, you know, story here, this is a good place to stop before we start getting into some more meat and potatoes.
Jack, do you remember what day tomorrow is?
That again. I'm sorry, but I still don't have a clue.
That's okay.
Yeah, you too.
What is it, Rose?
Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the YouTube subscription.
How important?
Important enough.
I'm definitely going to be playing some more Metal Gear.
Tomorrow seems more.
Tomorrow is actually. I normally stream in the mornings.
Anyway.
This isn't normally my time to stream, but my stream this morning was trash, so this seemed like the best. I just wanted to kind of redo this part of the game. And get it out of the way, so when I get back to it next week during my normal time period, I'll be where I wanted to be.
Is claiming that he's Snake himself.
A legendary mercenary?
But tomorrow morning,
I'm
Eastern U.S. time, so it's currently 11:35 p.m. now. So I usually start about 10 in the morning, roughly. And
I'm on it. I'll contact you as soon as I find out something.
Tomorrow, I'm planning on doing a pretty lengthy Twin Snake stream where I'm going to do a speed run. Oh, yeah, it's so you're 5 hours ahead. UK time, I'm guessing. But tomorrow I'm going to be doing a pretty good. Yeah, there's another guy that I've talked to quite a bit. That's over in that area that runs Twin Snakes, and yeah, he's actually coming all of the top of the morning to you. But there's actually a UK speedrunner that does a lot of the Metal Gear games, but I talk to him fairly frequently about Twin Snakes. He's actually coming to the States next month, or maybe it's next month for GDQ, Summer Games Done Quick, and he's going to be speedrunning Twin Snakes in GDQ, so that'll be really cool to see. But on top of actually doing Twin Snakes, I also do some glitch hunting in that game, so I'm going to be doing that. Real quick, I'm going to do a YouTube sign off, so right up there'll be the subscribe thing, and then right over in that direction will be the playlist for the other Metal Gear videos. If you've been hanging out this long, much appreciated. Stay suave, and check back for the next episode sometime next week. So stay suave.